What's up, Nikisha? So how are you doing, my dear lady? We have to finish a conversation, huh? We have not finished that conversation. I would like to get an update as to what's going on. What about the look that you like? Tell me. What's up, T-Mac? Yes, I want us to finish that conversation we were having. So let's see what time I'm done here, and we can maybe have it after. It's quite interesting. Yes, so I know you're hearing me. So I want to start by saying, as I know, what's up, Steph? So you know how we start these videos. I always say, I promise to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me God. Oh, you like the facial hair? Yeah, try nothing. I heard it makes me look better. You like my t-shirt? So let's get into it. So all right, what I'll do, let me hold on for about a minute more so that I wouldn't have to repeat too much of what I'm saying. Let me see who else will come on in the next 2 minutes. So remember, guys, feel free to invite a friend, forward the live to someone who you think need to hear it, and what's up, Diana? So forward the live to people who you need to hear it, and let's get it started. Say, Jerome. Jeremy, what's up? All right, so let me just lay down some ground rules here, because I want us to understand the foundation of what we're talking about and the context we're talking about, because I don't want something to be misinterpreted. What I'm saying is exactly what I actually mean. All right, so let's get that out of the way. Now, the topic is sexual attention versus long-term retention. Now, there are two statements I want us to listen to. One of them I know you have heard already, which is when a man meets a woman, he's hoping she doesn't change, and when a woman meets a man, she's hoping that he does change. Now, the other one I want to mention is that when a man meets a woman, he's hoping that she is one of the most decent women he can meet, but he wants her to be the most slutty woman to him only. Conversely, when a woman meets a man, she wants the bad boy, the baddest guy, or the most pursued male, that alpha. But she wants him to be good and faithful to her alone. So you see the difference between both genders right there. All right, that's how we choose to select our partners, and that's the expectations we have in relationships, right? So I want us to lay this other foundation. Let's just say there's a person's at 10 or 25. You know, us men especially, both genders do it, but us men especially, we rate women like for everything. So let's say a woman is at 10 or 25, all things being equal. Let's say she gets at 25 she had no degree, she can still be a 10 to a man. Even if she didn't have a degree, just certification, I think what matters is if she has an education. Now, let's just say this woman is now 35 and she has a doctorate, no children, and she's 35 with a doctorate, and her body is even in better condition than it was before. At 25, she still cannot be ranked as a 10. It may not be agreed by you women, but this is just how men think. Because men think completely logical. Women don't. So there's an assumption, and you women were lied to, where it's easy that you can get up, go to school, get your degree, go to work, pursue a career, and a man is going to come by the way. Now, the problem is only with the colored ethnic group is that thought. And I mean, by saying colored, I mean both. In Trinidad and Tobago, for example, we would have both Indians and Negroes being the dominant ethnic groups. But those are the two ethnic groups predominantly that you would see that type of mindset being taught. Most other groups, they are preaching to their children to go to school and get a husband and get married because they understand how it actually works. But these two groups, especially the colored group, as in black Negroes, they're telling their children, go, get an education, and then find a man. He's going to come by the way. And it doesn't work like that. Because a man does not care about your success from an academic level. A man who is a CEO or the richest man in the world can easily marry a waitress or an unemployed woman. He can. Because what men choose women by is we choose women based on their physical. And this is why whenever I come here, even if you're married, it's dangerous for you not to be in shape as a woman. Even if you are 35 and your body is in the best condition it can be, you still will not be ranked at the highest level. In other words, you will not be at your peak. And at least from a man's point of view, you can think it all you want. It's like saying I'm a Ferrari and you're a Cortina in a garage park up. It does not make any sense. You can think it. The problem with most women is that women think of in abundance and men think in scarcity. So men are more realistic. Women, because of their hypergamy, they add to the actual value. So if you ask the average woman, hey, what is it that you want in a man? What must he do or be? A woman generally, despite age, despite not being in the best condition, she is going to try to secure that most dominant alpha, highest value male in the pack. So in other words, what women tend to do is they would go for the 10%, some of them 5% or 3% man, and that will be the man that they have in mind that they need to be with. Now, if you go in for a 10% man, and this is a topic I'm going to discuss within the next week or so, if you're going for a 10% man, it means that you should be in the top 5 or 10% yourself. Now, no matter how academically successful you are, a man is not going to select you based on that. He's going to select you based on what he sees. Now, a man is in charge of the relationship, and woman, you are in charge of sex. And the problem is, a lot of women tend to wait until they're older to want to get a man of a higher value. In fact, a lot of women would have a baby or child with a man who's of a lower value or lower rank in status, and give him herself at her prime, and give him the most unique item or precious gift that she can bring forward, and which is a child, of course. But then when she's 10 or 15 years older, she's now seeking to get a 3% or a 5% or a 10% man, when she's no longer in her prime, and she has already given that gift, that first gift, to someone else. So what you're asking an alpha male or a man who is at the highest level to do is, one, be a stepdad to someone else's child. Okay? Now, what is the benefit to him in that? 2, you want him to have you when you're not at your peak. 3, you're not in as good shape as you were when you give that man that child. And 4, The person you give your best to is not at the value of the man that you are asking or seeking to be. So he's not at that value. So you see how many issues that comes there. And this is the scenario that is happening with most people. The reason a woman who is at 35 opposed to 25 cannot be a 10 or ranked at the highest level is simply because it's biological. When a man is with a woman, he's giving up his independence, he wants to have children and offspring. So even if you're single, at 35, he's concerned of if he wants 3 children, how safe is that? Because you know what it is. Doctors already say that you're at 35 and up, you're high risk. So this is the scenario that happens in relationships. So now, when you go now as a let's say a 35-year-old woman, especially if you have a child, in marriage, when you were married previously, for example, as a man calculations, men generally don't openly say that, but if we sit down and analyze, which I have with much men, and is agreed globally, trust me, what happens is a man will take one stroke of, let's say you are 10, he's going to take one stroke for every child that you have. Just think about it. Every child that you have, if you're 10, he's going to take a stroke. So if you are a 7, because 80% of people in this world are average. And that 20% remaining includes people who were born with certain deformities or complexes. They are not average. So the 20% we're talking about are not people who are all amazing, so to speak, or at a higher attraction value. Some of them actually have a lower attraction value. So 80% of people are actually normal or average, right? That is the statistics. This is, and this governs almost everything in life. So, when you are a mother, for example, and you take away, every time you have a child, you lose that. If you're 7, then what happens is you are actually a 4 at the very best, especially if you're older. If you have children outside of marriage, men see that as much, much more detrimental. And if you have children outside of marriage for more than one man, then you see it gets even worse. You see, a man is already agreeing with what I'm saying. Now, the thing is, women don't analyze situations like this. And this is where it gets complicated and complex, and a lot of women are hurt. And a lot of times, in almost every woman I know, they would have taken at least 4 years off of dating. A woman does not have the time to do that. That's one of the most dangerous things women do, because most women do not make decisions about their future from a logical aspect. They do it based on how they feel, and a lot of women want closure and stuff like that, and they are not able to get closure because a lot of men aren't about closure. That's a feminine thing. And so it's difficult for women to let go and be vulnerable with their hearts again with another person. But what a lot of women especially need to understand is that when a relationship breaks up, almost no matter what the scenario is, even if the man is the one that cheated and she was faithful, it is not his fault alone that it ended. Something caused that to happen. So the concept that you hear women talking about, where they're saying that all men are dogs and whatever, it is a true statement, all men are dogs, but women are also kittens or cats. So personality traits, women behave like cats behave. If you see how a cat walks in a house, there are strangers in the house, the room is full of people, she walks in here, she looks at everybody in the eye, and the owner is calling her, she looks at the owner, goes by a total stranger, rub on the foot of a stranger or two, looks at the owner again, walks away. Now that might be funny to some of you all, but that is the behavior of cats. And a lot of women behave very similar to that. And that is where it gets dangerous. Women don't have the ability to take 4 or 5 years off, especially if you have not been in multiple relationships. If a woman has not been at least 3 long-term relationships, I'm talking about 1 to 2 years minimum, then it means that a man is also going to assess her even without knowing. I'm talking about the subconscious, which operates in both male and female, that causes attraction. A man is going to look at that and understand that she is not ready for relationships. This is why it's so important for men to ask how many partners you had, because he wants to understand. Now there's a thin line, because you can have too much and you can have too little. Women, on the other hand, ask that question on the basis that men ask it, but it does not have any value to women. So if a woman meets a man and he tells her, I have had 40, 50, 60 partners, she's not going to have a deal breaker. In most cases, it's not a deal breaker for a woman. But if a man hears that a woman has had 20 men in her lifetime, he already knows that it means 25 or 30. That's almost a deal breaker for most men, especially higher value men. So when a woman decides to date, she needs to understand a couple of things. Is she in shape? Because the older you get, it's harder to remain in shape. Are you in ripping form? Because the more attraction, the higher value a man you want, is the more attractive you need to be. A lot of men are going to settle and accept some things that you come with, or you're not in shape or whatever. But a high value man that have 80% or more of women trying to get with him, even some of them that are married, you have to bring something that is different from what he can get out there. Because he can get a 25-year-old that is not as masculine as a 35-year-old, that is not going to be as complicated because the baggage is not as high as a 35-year-old. He can have her. She's going to be more sexual, more perky, more feminine, more submissive than a 35-year-old. So as a 35-year-old, what are you bringing to the table for that man that you want? So are you assessing who you are as an individual, where you are as an individual, and what it is you can have in a relationship? Because you're 35 or more, you have kids, that already have decreased your value. If you are not in the best shape of your life having kids, then it's a problem. Very few women have the ability to override that trigger in men, because they have certain gifts, so to speak, that most women don't have. That again is the same 20%, 80-20. Because some women would have amazing eyes, amazing lips, just drop dead gorgeous, that they can get men at an older level. They will ooze some sex appeal, or a man can sense sexy and freaky behind our glasses, or without the glasses, because of what you see behind your eyes. Very few women have the ability to do that to men, even at an older level. And those are the ones that generally will be able to land a high value man or a higher value man than the average woman. So yes, you will see cases where a woman are older, 35 and more, and she is able to meet a high value man. But in most cases, some of them are not alpha males either. There are many women who are married or in relationships and will have sex with an alpha male and totally be in love with their partner, because an alpha male is going to have sex with them and raise some passion based on testosterone that their partner is not going to be able to. So when you decide to assess yourself for a relationship, you need to ask yourself, if I am to date a man, what type of man do I need to be around? Because even if I am very attractive at 35 with a kid or two, is this man going to see me as wife? And it's a difficult thing, because the higher the value of a man is, the less he's going to see you as that, because you are asking him to marry you as an older woman who is not able to give him at least 3 children, and he has to now be a stepfather to 2 children that you had in a previous marriage or relationship. And if it's a marriage, he's asking, why are you divorced? And if it's outside of a marriage, he's asking, why didn't you get married? Men are that direct, and we think very strategic on that. Now, it's different if a woman was married, 2 or 3 children, and the husband was simply a fool, and she did everything. Those women are treated differently by men than a woman who is married and ended a relationship simply because she was not happy. There wasn't any cheating, there wasn't any abuse or anything like that. She wasn't happy. And when a woman is in a relationship and she's not happy, it's not because the relationship has run its course, it's because that man, in most cases, have turned off. He has shut down his affection towards you because something is lacking, and that love bank is closed. Because a woman can't be in a relationship with a man that she loves and walk away. She's engaged mentally. It's always more difficult for a woman to end a relationship. However, 80% of relationships that are ended or marriages are ended by women and not the man. As I said before, a man has the power for the relationship and a woman has the power for sex. Now what happens now is a lot of times you're older again, some of you may have kids or some of you may not have kids, and at this stage you have not had sex for a year or 2 years, or you're not having intercourse, and you made a decision, hey, I'm not having sex until I'm married. So you meet a high value man who has access to sex, but you are not giving him any because you have made a decision, which in most cases is commendable, but it has to be based on a foundation. You see, you can't live a particular way, do certain things a particular way, and then expect a man to accept it and move along. If a woman decides not to have sex until marriage, it must be something that is her rule from the beginning. When you have 2 or 3 children and then you meet a man who's a high value and you're telling him, I don't want to have sex until I'm married, he is not going to stay, because he has assessed you, he looks at it, and he says, hey, you know what? I'm not going to stay. I can get this from a woman who has no children, who is younger, presumably everything is tighter and more perky. Then why do I need to stay with her? I'm not doing that. To hell with her. Move on. You're ghosted. So the problem is, and women need to understand that you're not equal to a man. When a man gets older, he actually raises in value. And that could happen up to 60 years and then remain constant. There are 70-year-old men who can easily be in a relationship with a woman in her late 20s, mid-20s, or in her 30s. It's just the way it is. So you're not able to withstand time as a man can. And that's where it gets dangerous. So when you decide, and this is why when men date women, in more cases than not, a man is dating this woman because he wants sex from her. She wants his time and investment, and he wants compliance. This is what a relationship is about. So what women do, whether dating for dating's sake or marriage, what women do is that women would, because they control sex, they are asking this man to invest time in taking them out, invest money as in resources, and he is doing that with the mindset to have sex in return. So when you decide, I'm not going to have sex until marriage, you are making him invest in you, but he gets nothing in return. His trade-off is unbalanced. You are not in a position in most cases to call that shot, so to speak, and so what happens? He leaves. It's an unfair trade. He doesn't have to stick with it. And this is the scenario. So when a man dates, in most cases, the higher value of man that you decide to go around, the older you are, conversely, it means that you can easily assess, no matter what he says, this man is going to look at you only from a sexual standpoint, because you simply do not have the ability. You are older, you have kids, you have not taken care of your body, you're going to have problems, married or unmarried, because men are visual. That's what stimulates men. This is why men hope that they don't change. I remember one time I was going to the gym and I was sitting in my SUV and just arrived in the car park, and I'm seeing, I'll get to that question, that statement you make there, Mel, because it's not that simple. Because most women are not able to assess their values accurately. They overvalue themselves. So I remember seeing this girl, and I said to myself, oh my God, I want her. I mean, this girl is walking in her heels and a nice pencil dress, a pencil skirt, and every time she steps, you see like a double bounce. An amazing ass. I mean, an amazing pair of breasts. And went to the gym and I shot my shot and got through. And in dating this girl, we're talking about over a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, she started to lose weight. Stopped going to the gym as well. So you started to lose weight and you stopped going to the gym. That's a problem. Because as a man, all I wanted her to do is get that body, maintain that, or better. That's what I met you. That's what attracted me to you. You know this. Eat more, not less, and get in the gym. Get that ass big and firm. I'm being direct. And a lot of times, women will tend to say that's superficial. I guarantee you. I can give you women many examples, much more examples, to prove that women are way more superficial than men are. So anybody who's saying that it is superficial, I'm telling you, it's not. It's just how men are wired. It's the same way that you will not date a man who is at the side of the road asking you for $1. Or you will not date a guy who started off as a manager when you dated him, and then he lost his job, and he ended up being a garbage man or selling vegetables at the side of the road or bottled water. That's going to cause a problem. You could not admit it if you want. It is going to cause a problem in your mind as a woman. You're not going to be as attracted to him like you were when he was that CEO. Point blank. And as with what you say, Mel, that she needs to date someone with her values, I am yet to meet a woman who was accurately indicated what her value is or rank is to be able to find a man to suit. Because you think about it. Imagine a woman is a 7 or 6 ranked by a man, and she has 2 children outside of marriage, and she went and get a degree. Let's just go as far as a master's. She's now 37, 2 children, out of marriage, and I'm going to be kind and say 1 man. Then what value do you think she's worth out of 10? No sex out of marriage is a good approach. May seem outdated, but it has its merit. Of course it has its merits. Men still judge women based on that. She can find a man that thinks the same. All men think the same. And women don't understand that. It might sound foreign. Men are extremely straightforward and simple. We all analyze the same. And any man that doesn't analyze things the way I'm talking here simply doesn't know. And what we call them, simps or beta males. They don't know. Those are the men that will say, happy wife, happy life. Those are not the men that women get multiple orgasms for, though. That's just the point. That's just how it is. Those are also the men that gains weight as the woman gains weight in the relationship. Those are the men who washes the dishes and sweep house and wash clothes. Those are the men you're talking about. Those are not the men that women actually want to be with. Those are the men that women settle for because they understand time is running out. Now, when you look at a man selecting a woman for long term, it takes a lot to be a wife. Many people can be someone's wife, or someone can marry many people, but it doesn't mean that you are actually a wife. It means that you are a married woman who is someone's wife. Unless you are a helpmate as a woman, and you understand submission, and you're willingly agreeing to submit, I'm just telling you the truth, ladies. If you want a man who is a masculine man, the only way you can keep him is being submissive. A masculine man is never going to be with a woman who is masculine. Look at any woman that you know who leads the marriage, and you'll see that the man is not masculine. He's very quiet. She runs the relationship, and in most cases, she's even bigger than he is. He doesn't even have much of a say. She can hit him a slap or a kick. This is just the scenario. This is just what it is. That's what happens. Now, 80% of colored women are overweight. 80%. It's that bad. 80%. Why is this acceptable? It shouldn't be acceptable. Everywhere you go, I said this on Sunday when I did a video. Me being in shape is like a weird thing for people to see, a man or a person in shape, because we have come to be accustomed to such a high degree of people not being in shape. Just go to the gyms. And what is worse is the black woman or the colored woman is leading in being overweight and undervalued. And I don't mean undervalued by they are valued more and they are actually being undervalued. Their value is just out of all the ethnic group on earth. When men are assessing it generally now, the black woman or the African woman who was once at the hem is now seemingly either the last or second to last ethnic group of value as a woman that a man wants to be with. In other words, you'll never hear an Indian ethnic group woman or a white woman saying, I'm a boss or a bad bitch. You don't hear them saying these things. The black woman thinks that after reading these books and their fathers or whoever it is tell them that they are a princess and a queen, that's the way they're thinking. No woman is a queen unless they have a man married to them. No woman. So the false statements that these women tend to make day after day is misleading, and it only hurts them. It's a difficult thing for it to be said and to be that frank and that open and that direct, but that's the truth. No one becomes a queen without a king. You're unmarried, you are not a queen, not even a princess. Especially if your father wasn't married to your mother, you ain't no princess. I don't care what you wake up a morning and decide to say. And this is where it hurts women, because you see women walk around saying, I am the prize. Let's just agree that you are the prize at 25. How long do you think you're going to be the prize for? 5 years more? 10 years more? 15 years more? Because you're 40 now. Can't have much kids? I don't know what you mean by a queen in a sham marriage. If she's married, she's a queen to someone. She's somebody queen, no matter the marriage. She is a queen because she has a man married to her. You see, a lot of people get tied up with being in a relationship or long-term relationship. A relationship or long-term relationship, even my engagement, has no value. No real value. A man wants a woman, he marries her. If a man isn't marrying you, there's a problem. Granted, a lot of times, even in my scenarios, in many scenarios, I have been waiting because I see value in some women, and I've waited to hope that they show that value. More cases than not, it has not happened. Because the older women get, and this, I'm a prize mindset, and I am the prize, and Valentine's Day is about women, and Christmas is about women, and an anniversary. If two people are married and the man doesn't say happy anniversary to the woman, she's vexed all day. He forgot our anniversary, but she didn't tell him either. So since when anniversaries were about women, why can't you tell him happy anniversary for a change? She's vexed because he didn't say happy anniversary. You both are married. And this is the problem where a lot of women, especially black women, listen, if you go to YouTube right now and you look at relationship coach and dating coaches, they will tell you, a colored woman listens to no one except one person. I'm speaking to most women. I have friends who I'm no longer friends with because of how direct I say. And I told them, you could say what last week, for example, a friend of mine reached out to me and was telling me about her weight. And I'm telling her, so you know your doctor said X, Y, and Z. You know this. You know you lost the weight after the baby. And you allow yourself to be this age and put back on that 40 pounds. And you know you lost the weight after baby, so it's not baby fat. It's what is it? Your ass is lazy. You're lazy. Say that and mean that and understand that. Because you can't, listen, and I have a problem with a lot of women where they have no kids and they are also overweight. You're just lazy. Whether you like it, whether I'm raw, you're lazy. You had a kid. You're not supposed to gain 70 pounds after you have a child. And if you did, what is the problem in losing it? There are people with babies who have children who are 15 years old and it's baby fat they have. Where's the baby? Your children are teenagers, going to be adolescents and adults, and you talking about baby fat? You're not supposed to gain 70 pounds when you're pregnant. I've shown you guys, when I post things, I don't just post things for posting things' sake. I show you women every day, you people, every day things that affects relationships and really, really hurt marriages. And most women are now talking about they want a partner. You will not have a successful marriage that keeps your hypergamy in check and you happy in a relationship if you are going to a marriage thinking that you want a male or a man to be your partner. Because an alpha male does not want a partner. He wants a helpmate. You want a partner, it means that you are 50-50. You think you are just like him and he's going to treat you like that. There's going to be less chivalry because he understands that what you actually want is not a husband, you want a partner. So men generally will not select women for long-term relationships because they simply don't fit the model. If you decide you want to be a wife, if I interview any one of you all now, it means I'm guarantee you most of you want to be someone's wife. But if we use the basic level, you would see that most of you have never read a book about being a wife, a mother, a woman. There's a mindset that because you turned 18, I'm a woman. But you women self don't judge men by the same criteria. You say he's not a man if he's not doing so and so. But for some reason, as a woman, a female, you can do anything and it should be accepted. It doesn't work like that. It simply doesn't work like that. And men judge you and judge you harshly. This is why so many women, 80% in the black community, are seeking divorces from marriage. In 80%, out of 100, only 20% of the time a man is the one seeking to be divorced. 80%. It was 75 the other day, now it's at 80%. You're unhappy in relationships simply because, and not because you're just unhappy in a relationship. The man does not want to be with you anymore. So men are no longer seeking to be with black women for long-term relationships as much as they would have done in the 60s or 40s. It's just the sad reality. Men are not seeking to be. So what men are seeking is to have you as a sexual partner or someone of that interest, but not for marriage. You have not demonstrated that you have the ability to be someone's wife. You can think it. I have friends who I know, and I can tell you, on one hand only do I know women who are actually gearing themselves up to be wives. And believe me when I tell you, I know hundreds of women, if not thousands, and I cannot count more than in one hand, women who are actual wives. That's how bad it is. Society has misled women, misled you, both genders actually, to make us believe that we are equal, we can be this. Women have a lot of time, a man is going to come, and women somehow think that men judge them by value based on their ability for income and accomplishments. It's not what men use as a criteria to determine who he's going to choose and keep as a partner. So you get older, you have kids, you're out of wedlock especially, your body's not in shape, it's detrimental. The best case scenario is that you buy a dog or a cat. I've seen many women now doing that. You don't have the ability to take 4 years of your life, or 3 years of your life, or 5 years of your life, and decide not to date someone. A man is assessing your ability based on your relationships. How long was your relationship? Women have become more masculine since the 60s and 70s when they started to work. That's why. More men have become effeminate because a lot of men who are being brought up by single mothers that men don't want to stay with. Angry women, so to speak. That's the truth that they don't tell you. This is the truth that actually happens based on statistics. When you look at single mothers, you can see the numbers based on that. That is why women have become masculine, because the minute a woman walks into a job or building, her testosterone levels raises to 3 to 4 times as much as it normally is. Women aren't built for management type work. Women are built for domestic work. And it sounds archaic, but whether you like it or not, the only thing that gets a woman hormones back in line after she comes from work is if she goes home and has to prepare meals for her family. When she gets home, a lot of time women will feel tired and exhausted. And that happens is less than she's tired, it's more that her body is under high levels of stress. That is what has got her tired. And the only thing a woman really has to get her body back in order is if she has especially if she is a wife and she knows she's going home to a family, her hormones will start to drop the minute she leaves the office to head home to them. By the way, while she's driving affects her testosterone levels as well. So women who drive a lot, they are going to be more masculine as well. So every time I go and I see men and women going somewhere and I see the man in the front seat, in the passenger front seat, and the woman driving, I shake my head. It's a dangerous thing, and it's sad because I could already tell that he is not alpha. That's her boyfriend. She's driving him. I can tell who's leading the relationship. So when she gets home, after driving home, this is why women have more road rage than men and display it. This is why women won't even let men come out of a street. They will drive up. They are more aggressive because their testosterone levels are higher. But when she gets home and she's tired, and you women say it all the time, it's not that you're actually tired. You have a lot of energy. It's that your body is under stress. And this is how it relates into it. The minute she starts to do something domestic like cook or sweep or put some clothes to wash, give her 15-20 minutes and ask and see, check yourself and see if you are as tired as you were when you came home. I guarantee you you're not going to be. Because your body hormones are now leveling back out, and sometimes you may even get a lot of energy. You'll be shocked at how much things you're going to be able to do at the same time. Because you're built for that. So the point I'm making is, men choose most women for sex because it's accessible. Women need sex just like men need sex. The only difference is one needs sex and one desires sex. And this is why women are able to switch it off, because if they had a relationship or a bad experience in a relationship, going through a bad time in a relationship or stuff, they can turn off sex because sex is not desirable to them. But if they have a partner who they desire, sex is desirable for them. It is. Men need sex. But if he has a woman who is no longer attractive to him, he didn't meet you with a big belly. And that's another thing I'm seeing most women with a punch as if it's okay. It's not to men. It's not okay. You need to work on it. The minute you decide not to work on it, you are putting yourself at risk. You are just go and buy a dog, a bird, get some kittens, something. Because I've seen many women do it because it's as if they almost know. And it's dangerous even if you have a dog, because you have to really make up your mind if it's over. Because if you have dogs, or especially kittens, and you decide to date a man, he's not going to accept waking up the kittens on a bed with him sleeping. He's just not going to do that. Especially the more alpha he is. So men select women for long-term relationships if she is domesticated, if she's bringing something to the table as from the standpoint of a helpmate, not a partner. Men who accept women as partners are not the men that women actually really want. That's the men who are beta males, who, if they see a man who is an alpha male greet his wife, he's going to be affected by it. Those are and I know from experience, trust me when I tell you, men who women settle for never have sex with them the way they want. Most women are so unsatisfied sexually. They're just so unsatisfied sexually because the men that they choose aren't alpha males, can't lead. I remember being in a relationship and I'm dating this girl and I'm asking her, she wanted to do a march. She wanted to go on march. And I said, why? And she couldn't tell me. I just need to go on march. Okay, but that's a means to an end. What is the end result you want? So I can't go. You say, I never said you can't go. I'm asking you a simple question. Why are you going to march for women's rights? What is the end result? I just have to represent. I have to represent what? I'll have to go. Enjoy your week. Telling me that I'm not going to talk to you for the rest of the week. This is a Sunday or Saturday. So I said, okay, I want you to do me a favor. Enjoy the rest of your life because this relationship just ended. If you're a man and you can get into relationships or get women and you know women are attracted to you, we won't accept that. We won't accept that. Now what has happened? I would have simply decided to cut you down. So it's ended. And a man could literally move on immediately almost. As a woman, now you're still engaged, more so because you were dumped. You're not going to be able to get in a solid relationship under 6 months. You're not going to be able to. You have to go through that about 3 or 4 stages before you can even consider that. What is more dangerous is, as I was saying, women, especially black women, do not like, and I'm saying black as in Indians and Negroes, but especially Negroes, don't like to be told anything. And so on that basis, a man is going to also cancel you out for your physique, for your inability to be submissive, and for the fact that he cannot lead you. He's going to cancel you out because you're so alpha or you're so masculine that he's not able to lead you, and it's a turn off for a man, because if you decide to be with a man who's an alpha male, he is going to lead. I remember a partner of mine said, a girlfriend of mine, ex-girlfriend said, I'm too bossy. I always want to control. Mind you, I've never told her where to go, what time to get home, or what to wear. So how bossy am I? Because I know a lot of guys who would tell their partners to do that. I said to her as well, have a nice life. Goodbye. Because a man, and we have come to a point where women don't understand that a man must lead. He doesn't want his mother. Most men have the ability to lead, yes. That's how men's brains are. The problem that affects men from leading is 2 things. One, a lot of men are raised by women, and so they are told that they have to be a little more gentle and they have to be a little more this and that with women, so they don't naturally do it. They try to appease opposed to lead. And secondly, a lot of women come across as a man's mother type. While that is what a man wants, he doesn't want you to be like his mother or feel like his mother talking to him. He wants to feel like a person is taking care of him like his mother, not telling him what to do like his mother or trying to change him and change the way he does this, change the way he does that. That is where the problem comes in. That is why most men lead, and because they cannot stand arguing with you, they do two things. They say happy wife, happy life, and agree with you with whatever you want, which turns you off, affects you because your relationship starts to lose its passion, or they go to the bar and lime as late as they could before they go home to meet you because they know when they go home what happens. A woman, a black woman especially, only listens to a white man. You understand? That goes for both genders, Mel. So it's not easy to just simply women rise to the occasion. Rising to the occasion in a relationship with a man is the worst thing a woman can do. If a woman is submissive, she has no reason to rise to any occasion. She chooses a man that leads her. End of story. You don't rise to the occasion. Rising to the occasion is why a man will not choose you for long-term relationships, especially if you're over the age of 35. Listen, a man is only going to accept a woman who is a brat, who is aggressive, or who wants to control his life if she is highly attractive and high value as in a 10 or something. He weighs it out and he says, okay, he wants to keep this woman because sex is amazing, she looks great, so he's only going to accept that. Then you will leave the relationship. You can't submit to foolishness. Can't. Let me tell you something. If you were to really evaluate the kind of things men have to go through with women on a daily basis, you would see how much foolishness that women actually do. In fact, women are saying that men do more craziness or foolishness than men. But the statistic shows that women are 7 times more. 7 times. They do much more. They are more critical. And everything is a problem. 7 times more than men. You know how many times men see women do foolishness and just look at it and just say, that's how she is, so cool. But if a man does, let's go on a first date basis. Let's go on a woman could go on a date and an eyelash could fall out, to a whole braid strand could fall out from her head while she's talking, and it grown and she picked it up and put it in her purse. That man is seeing all that happening. A button burst in the top. That man going to try and help find a pin. You name it. He doesn't cancel her out like that. Conversely, if a man comes to a dinner and his shoe swollen for some reason, unstick. She's messaging her friend before dinner is over. That is a problem for most women. That just he's swollen unstick. Or his shirt button popped out. Or you just name it. It could be something very simple. Well, I can agree with that statement, but that's not how women generally select mates. Women are generally out of shape, older, with kids, unmarried, never been, not wife material, and if you ask them what do they want as a life partner, they would tell you a high value man. And you all call it out. He must be 6 foot tall, good looking, well built. You all call it out. Tall, dark, and handsome, and wouldn't some, you call it out. Not some women, Mel, most women. There are statistics. Most women do that, not some. More than 80% of women do that. So, and it's because women are abundance. They think in abundance. So they think themselves as more valuable, but it's not the case. In a relationship, a woman does not hold the key to a relationship. A man does. But if you go to marriages and you weddings, sorry, and you go to you talk to couples and you listen to women speak and you see the actions. I every day I see women passing in groups, and you see one woman who's probably let's say 8, the others about 5 or 4 and stuff, and they're all behaving the same way as if they all have the ability to not greet or say hi to a man or something, because the 8 has the ability to walk with head straight, and which is a foolish thing, by the way. I will never understand it. You walk with your head straight like you can see the man. What is so difficult? Just look at a guy and saying hi. You won't even watch the guy and just say hi, good morning, good evening. You walk with your head straight. But you're looking at him, you can see him, because women have a wider periphery than a man. So you all can see a wider range than men. So you don't have to turn here to watch a man. You all can take in things faster and you see wider than men can. Men can see further. Yeah, but you all hold the key to sex. That's why you all tell men. No sex, go on the couch. When men tell women no sex or are good or tired or sleepy, they don't listen. You all don't listen to that. It's just how it is. You all, women at 25, 27, right? I don't know what you're referring to, Mel. But at 25, 27, women have the keys and have all the power. But between 40 and 50, men get the power from that age and they move up. So, Raquel, your friend just need to be fair. Right, the Bible says that a woman will, and that's a true statement. It says that. But women fight that because this world and it's not a curse. It's not a curse. That was said in the context of the nature between both genders. Remember, the woman, if you go biblical, the woman rib came out of the man. She's a man with a womb. In other words, she's a bottle. A man is a bottle of Morbi, and a woman is a glass of Morbi. Both of them will taste the same, but one is concentrated. That's what happens that's how a woman and a man is. That's why the woman is the weaker sex. She didn't become the weaker sex after she ate the fruit. If it came out of the man, it means that you are not as concentrated as he is, because you came out of him. That's just how it is. So what was said is the context or the actual relationship between both of them. In other words, in fact, the woman was not supposed to speak to the serpent. She was not told the rules of life. The man was. So now you see why it wasn't a curse. That particular aspect of it as is. What was a curse is how she would be in pain in labor. If you look at how animals like cows and lions and these things make babies, they could eat and chew while making babies. Yes, it was pronounced after the fall, but it was not part of the curse. You should know if you know who you're talking to, Mel, you would understand. I know what I'm saying. It looks that way. Look at what was happening before the curse. She was already doing everything. She came out of the man. He was the head. That was always how it was. So, I hear you. So anyhow, back to sexual attraction versus long term. A woman must be very careful in how she aligns herself for the future. And one of the worst things a woman can do is give herself to a low value man and have kids with him, especially out of marriage. Especially out of marriage. It puts you at a huge disadvantage, especially when you're older. A high value man looks for certain things in a woman. He wants you to be fit. He wants you to be submissive. He wants a helpmate. He wants compliance. And he wants sex. That's what he wants from a partner. When you come with more than that, that's a problem. You need to align yourself as a woman to assess yourself carefully. To say, okay, I am this age. This is how I look. This has been my past. Because a lot of times a woman... I've known women who have had one long-term relationship. And it was 5 years ago, 10 years ago. Between that, she was in school or studying, work or whatever. And then she only had one long-term relationship, a lot of short-term relationship in between that. You cannot choose to be in a long-term relationship, especially with a high-value man, and you have only had one long-term relationship. You are not in a position, or you are not ready for a relationship, far less to be a wife. When you decide to be somebody's wife or want to be somebody's wife, you ask Summer, for example, who just came on there. When you decide to be somebody's wife, what you need to do is to go and understand femininity. Because if you're not feminine, you're not a wife. You need to go on and understand what is required to be a wife. It's a difficult question to answer you're asking me there, because what is the perspective of attracting more sexual partners rather than relationship? As a man, you control relationships. So you are not attracting more sexual partners rather than relationships. You could choose which one of those women that you meet as sexual partners that you want to spend your life with. Now, if I'm putting what you're saying in the context which I'm trying to understand your thinking, if you're saying that you're not meeting women of a relationship standard, then that's another problem. It means that problem is more you. If you're in a relationship and you're meeting a lot of people, a lot of partners that wants to have sex with you, then it means that you're just high value. And that's the situation with most high value men. Women come at them all the time. That's just the case. So that's just the two perspective I can give based on your question. There's a lot that is not said, so I can't give you another angle. Now, this video tonight, this live can seem to be, it's more about women. Well, I'll tell you why. Most of my videos will always be centered more about women, because in more cases than not, the issues in relationships are mainly based on women. If you look at the statistics and you try to apply it anyhow, and you disagree with what I'm saying, that's all well and good, that's fine. But go and look at the statistics and you'll see who are the ones leaving the relationships. Women are cheating just as much as men, so it's not a cheating issue. Who are the ones leaving relationships? Why are they leaving relationships? The number one reason women leave relationships and marriages is they are not happy, or they don't love the person anymore. Marriage is not, when you get married, you're supposed to already love yourself and be happy. You can't marry someone with the intention of being that person making you happy. They can make you happier, but you're supposed to be complete. It's not 50-50, it's 100 on 100. You're supposed to bring yourself there being fully complete and already being happy. So that person is just going to contribute to it, and both parties could have a happy marriage. But when you look at the scenario, you'll see a lot of women are marrying men, and I know a lot. I've counseled a lot. are marrying men on the basis of not having a father or not having love from a father, and so they're seeking to have that love by a husband or a partner, and that does not happen. That's not the reason a man is going to spend his life with you if he consents that that's what you come into a relationship for love. These books that you women have read, these romance novels, are just that. Because when you marry a man, you are not in love with him as a woman. Okay? You think you are. What has happened is that dopamine has kicked in your brain, especially by that 90-day period, and he's in you because the dopamine can kick into a man immediately. A man can see a woman and say he wants to marry her. Women generally are not able to do that. It takes about 90 days for a woman to do that because dopamine works differently. That's why a man, when a relationship ends, he has a delayed reaction. So it takes about 3 months for the breakup to kick in to him and realize, wait now, I kind of miss this girl, you know. But the same day, he can walk away and meet somebody else. And that's the problem, Reginald. Most people in the relationships don't understand it. Exactly, Summer. Your husband can't make you happy if you are not happy, alone, independent. Do not get into a relationship with someone. If you get into someone and ball she completes me, that's a problem. A woman is not supposed to complete you. You're supposed to get into that relationship already complete. All that woman can do is continue to mold you into being better and better and better. That's her purpose. Her job is not to complete you. That's your job, even in a marriage. And this is where mindset and mindset comes in, because you need to always be aware of where you stand in your positioning. I can tell most people here now that I'm not high value. Many people will say, or I should say, I'm not a 10. Many people will assume that I'm already a 10, I'm already highest value. But my value is not based on the external of someone looking on at me and ranking me. As a man, it's different. As a man, because of purpose and understanding your purpose and your alignment and where you need to go and supposed to be, what you're supposed to do, you can assess your value. Because your value is based on your purpose to society and what you're supposed to do. A woman's job is to get that man to be able to reach the furthest point and get his value or his purpose that he was born to do. Instead, what you have is women competing with men because in life with regards to job and academics, and that damages women both from a physical level and a relationship emotional level. It's not your job to compete with a man. You can't compete with a man. The job force was never made for women. If you look at the research in Scandinavia right now, you'll see that the more the government is trying to show that men and women are similar, is the more that they are showing that they are not. And when conversely you look at India, which the more the government is showing that they are not similar, you see India, they are moving more to showing that they are. And what is happening there basically is, when somebody is not able to do something, as we all know, like when COVID was happening to us now, we tend to want to do that more because we know we can't. But if you leave things to just be and play out themselves, you would see that women are not the ones who are going to learn, going to do stem studies, sorry. They are not the ones who are pursuing science and maths and engineering and technology. They are not the ones predominantly doing that. Exactly, Summer. That's the purpose of a woman. If you are a woman and you don't understand that your job is to ensure that the partner that you have reaches the purpose that he was born to do, it means that you're not a helpmate and you are failing yourself as a woman. You're not a wife. That is your job. That is your purpose in that marriage, not to compete with him. But if you look at Steph Curry, for example, and his wife, Ayesha Curry, you see she's now competing with him because as attractive as she is and as successful as they are and have hundreds of millions of dollars, her problem is she wants to feel sexy by having people try to be with her. So she's now winding down the place and talking about she has a problem with the fact that women are only wearing down her husband and not her. Your job is to make sure that that man feels that he is the best shooter of the world ever, constantly, not to wonder if men are tracking you. If men tracking you and want to be with you and whatever and affecting you. Exactly, she loses value because that is not what a man values a woman for. And if you look at most women now, you would see that women are talking about they have a PhD and they're this and they're that, and they go and look at the profile and you'll see they have the MBA and the BA and BB and BCC and CAT and everything behind the names. That doesn't. And this is why a lot of doctors now, I know a lot of people who are doctors and master students are single, because when you go to a man and that's what you're pushing from out of your words or your language or your persona, it's not something that he wants to play with, because you're already showing him that you are more a man than a woman. He wants to see femininity. When you're going out, even if you're driving your car and you're picking him up, you need to tell him, drive us. Even if he doesn't do it, you need to tell him, baby, drive us now. And that's how you need to talk, because this thing about women wanting to take charge. No, you have to position yourself as a woman to be able to allow a man to see you as a long-term future. You going out with and you driving your car, even if you're driving your car, you have to let him drive you. Yeah, women can't value a man if you don't value yourself. So I know my value. I would rank myself, if I were to, approximately a 9. Now, I know many people would think I'm a 10. But I say I'm a 9 because I know what I was born to do, and I know how far I am from accomplishing it. And because I know I have not gotten there yet by accomplishing it, I cannot put myself at the highest level of ranking. So while money is how the world values you, which is an assessment, while money is how the world values you, which is an assessment, you can't choose a high value man only on the basis of money. Because a man was firstly born to accomplish his purpose. And so unless he's in his purpose, which I am in, and unless he is, that's why I'm talking to you guys tonight, unless he materializes his purpose to the fullest, he cannot think that he has reached, so to speak. So that's the reason I would say I'm not a 10. I can easily say I'm a 10 and people would agree. I can. But it's not going to be authentic, it's not going to be true, and I'm not going to fool myself. That is what most women can't do. And why would I say I'm a 9? I speak better, I write better, I'm in shape. Academically, I'm in an extraordinary place. I can cook. You just name it. I run companies. You just name it. So there are a lot of things I could easily say, yeah, I'm a 10, and people would not really be able to disagree with. But because I understand the power and the value of a purpose of a man, unless a man is in his purpose, he's worthless. He's not able to really reach his purpose, and he can't say he's a 10. But as a 9, I know I'm destined to be a 10. If I don't be a 10, it's because I did something or choose not to be. But everybody can't be a 10. Both men and women, everybody just can't be. You understand? So like, let's say for example, Beyonce, for example, she's not a 9 or 10 because of her age and the kids that she had, despite her accomplishments. Jay-Z could most likely say he's a 10. Right? You may say that he's not the best looking guy in the world, but he is a 10. What Jay-Z can do, what he has accomplished, where he's going as a direction, even though he is a rapper. Raquel, I would need to know a lot more about you to be able to assess you. I would need to know your height. I would need to know your weight. I would need to know your dress size. I would need to know if you have kids. I would need to know how many kids you want. Those are the things I would need to know about you before I could even assess what number you are. It's not easy to just look at you and just simply say by just watching you. If I were to just do that, I can also make an assessment. But if more information comes in, it will drop. It wouldn't go up or remain the same if more information comes in. I don't know if you understand. From a man's point of view. Now, don't get mixed up with a human being value. The value of a human being and the value of that of an individual to another individual. So if you're talking about towards the opposite sex, that's a different value. If you're talking about as a human being, then no human being is more valuable than the other from a spiritual level. All right? If you're in the US and you are a vagrant or a bum or you are a CEO of a Fortune 500 company, the US is still going to send for either one of you if you are in trouble or stranded in some other island. They're going to still charge that plane up and they will not leave one of you behind even though you're two different levels. Seemingly, that may happen even in Trinidad and Tobago. So I would need much more information to you, but I could, if I am to watch you and assess you, like if I could find out your age, just say you're 35, and based on everything else I know about you, right now I will put you somewhere between 5 and 6. That's just my assessment. Alright? So I hope I've made my point very clear. I hope you understand. I hope you understand how one is able to assess whether someone is just for sex or someone is for a long-term relationship. For you to be for a long-term relationship, you have to be of some value to the opposite sex. Some women value that, about 50%. Some women want a man who has already reached. The better woman or the better type of woman to be with is the one who sees your potential and goes there with you. So that's why for me, for example, I'm just shocked by what Raquel just said to me, so forgive me. Alright, but for me, that's why I don't tell women a lot of what I do or a lot about me when I now meet them, because I'm more attractive than the average guy. I'm aware of that, and it's not being cocky. I'm just saying a fact, because I see what happens on an everyday basis when I actually interact with people. I go to the supermarket, for example, all eyes on me. It happens, so it's normal. So it's difficult for me to be able to find a person that is authentic and doesn't seek to be with me because of my family ties, perceived wealth, or my physical, but understands that this man is going places and he needs a particular type of woman by his side, and I'm so, yeah. It's going down, I'm 45. So you see, Raquel, you just said you're 45, so to a man, it just went down again. Because you are not going to have the same appeal as you are at 45 as you would have at 35 or 25. Alright? When a man meets you, he's now saying, okay, I can't have kids. So if I were to assess you with regards to having kids, I would say, or to having a high value man, I would say it's near impossible for that to happen. So the best thing you can do is become highly feminine and submissive, and keep your body in the best shape that you can, and see what comes around, and see if you can build what comes around. Not change him, but see if you can help mold and what comes around. And my advice to you would be to the good thing is I didn't think you were 45 because I know you. I actually know you, and I didn't know you were 45. So that's a good thing. So that works for you. But obviously he's going to find that out. But if he finds it out when he actually sees your value, it helps in the scenario before he finds out the age. So the best thing is for you to be submissive. Learn femininity. Go buy the books, research it, learn how to be a wife. Because another thing what happens between the two, sexual attention versus long-term retention, is men can get your vibe. Men can check the current that you're flowing out. So if you're highly sexual or you are submissive and you have a great heart and these things, men can pick up that, because just like you women that says that you have a woman's intuition, men have intuition as well. But because we vibrate in a higher frequency, we can get a lot more information from a woman without having to say a word. God be praised, Reggie. Based on your comments. So Raquel, that's the scenario with you. Just it's simple. That is what you have to do. If you don't do that, you are more than likely going to die alone. It's a harsh, but somewhere along the line it means that you would have not taken the right course. You would have probably focused more on career and not relationships. And I did a video years ago, about 2 years ago, it's on YouTube, that women should choose relationship over career. And it's dangerous for a woman to pursue a career if she's unmarried. It's really highly dangerous. I know too many women who are really and truly decent, highly successful, good-looking, appealing women. And their likelihood of getting married is next to naught. I know only one woman, one. And she got married last year, who is high value and did well and got married at somewhere around 50 or 52 or something. Just one. And she met him in church and stuff, so that's a scenario there. I guarantee you he's not the ideal that she would have wanted to be with, but that's what she got. So, but seriously, one, and I am telling you guys, I probably know thousands of women, and just one I know that have been able to pull that off. All right, and as I say, I know only one handful of women who are able to be wives or be someone's wife. Just one handful, like just about 4 or 5 women who I know right now, and I can say that they are wives. I know that for a fact. So it just shows that so many women, and you can, and as I said before, you can tell very easily. A 25-year-old woman is not going to want to cut her hair and take mohawks and man hair and these things. Just look at how they drive, and you can tell. There are many ways in which you can assess a woman to assess if you should be with her. If a woman is driving like you drive as a man or better, that's a problem for you. It's going to be a problem. It's like the easiest way you can assess that woman's personality deep down and what's going to happen in a relationship. If she drives and crosses speed bumps faster than you are, if she blows more horn, less horn, than you do, that's a problem as well. Exactly, Reggie. Yeah. So if she blows less horn than you in driving, and she crosses speed bumps faster than you do. She doesn't like to wear a seatbelt as much as you do. That's not a person you should be with. I'm not saying she's a bad person. I'm just saying that she's too much for you, and it's going to affect that relationship long run, even if you all get married. A lot of times in relationship, guys, you've seen women and men getting older, and they're getting more weight, and then the sex starts to not happen, and they have sex maybe sometime twice a month or once a month and stuff. That does not happen because of familiarity. It does not happen because of old age. I know couples who are in their 70s and 80s and are still having sex, as gross as you may think that is. All right? And they're probably having more sex than couples in their 30s who are married. The reason that happens is for two reasons. One, either the man is not masculine enough and he became a beta male because he fell in love, and she lost the attraction that she had for him. And both of them started to gain weight because of increased level of cortisol in the body. Because the body is under stress. And they're both now less appealing to each other. Her masculinity will of course grow because he's no longer leading and being as manly. So then her testosterone will increase. And he will be under stress. And so his estrogen levels will increase, which drops his testosterone. Testosterone is the sex hormone. That is the reason. Because there are some couples who would have gotten married, had less sex, and they fixed the problem in the marriage, and they're realizing now that they're having more sex than they were having in years gone by, and they are maybe 10 years older than they were. That is what causes it, the problem. There are many men out here right now, as I said many times before, who is going to doctors, and doctors are actually telling them that they have impotency, but that is not true. What is happening is that the men, they are simply not attracted to their partner as they once were, so their body is not giving them the testosterone levels that they're actually supposed to have in it to have sex, and they're not able to get an erection and sustain one like they would have before. And what happens after that is you find, because their testosterone levels are lower, they're gaining weight, they will have heart complications, maybe even blood pressure complication, diabetes, and their prostate is going to start to increase because of that. This is the reasons these things actually happen, guys. This is what actually happens. While food and diet is a huge part, a relationship, choosing who you spend your life with is so important, because your life depends on it. That's just how it is. Alright, so if there are any other questions you all can ask now, any other comments, let me see it now. But I think I've exhausted different scenarios and point of views as to why relationships are how they are. That's why 80% of the time women are not happy in relationships. And what I would advise women to do is to tend to want to accept criticism more than be emotional to criticism. There are people who I know who need to hear the things I'm saying. They will not come on because they say I'm too critical. They will not come on because they don't think that I have the ability to tell them anything. I am not married, so I shouldn't be able to tell them I can't tell them about marriage. So let me tell you guys something. The worst person you can ask about relationship or marriage is a married man or woman. The worst person that you can ask for advice on marriage, and these churches that are doing these things are damaging people, because when you are in a marriage and you're compromising, because you compromise to choose a partner, you're compromising to exist in a marriage, compromising which you're not supposed to happen in a marriage at all, your marriage is not authentic. You're not in bliss. In most cases, only 10% of marriages are actually successful marriages. As you know, 80% now, 54%, 53, 54% now ends in divorce. You have a further 25% that stays, 25, 30% that stays in a relationship because it's a business deal. And so the next 10% or so is who actually are happy. A lot of people are married, will stay married, and they're cheating. They will not divorce because they know they will lose house and car and status and what people see on the outside. And both parties aren't happy. We're not even talking about the people who are gay or bisexual and married. Yeah, women need to really accept criticism. When you are criticized, women love to be critical about men and other people, but they, especially black men, they cannot accept a man telling them what to do, and that's a huge issue. Even something like they will ask if am I overweight, and you say yes, that's a problem. I remember ending a relationship over a period though, because I keep telling her that I wanted to go in the gym and whatever, and when it was over and the relationship ended, she told me that I should have said, I like how you look when you were in the gym, opposed to saying that you are out of shape and need to go in the gym. It's the same flicking thing. But you want someone, what they want is that you want someone to sort of sugarcoat stuff, and you want them to cushion your emotions, and that shouldn't be. You're supposed to be able to know that if a man is telling you something about you, then it means clearly that you need to do some work on yourself. If a man is telling you that, it means that he loves you still. Let me tell you women something. When a woman is fed up, she talks a lot. And she lets it all out. When a man is fed up, he doesn't say anything. So if a man is telling you about your physique, it means he's still attracted to you, but it's falling. And all he's telling you is, please, please get it back. Get it back to where it was. Not to get offended. He's just telling you, hey, please, please, I still find you attractive. I still want you. But I'm losing the attraction, and I need you to get it back. Please go in the gym and we'll get it back. If a man is telling you about your weight, you're not being in the gym, it's a blessing in disguise. When he stops telling you something, and you know you're feeling uncomfortable because of, what do you mean, Raquel? You know he's telling you something because he wants you to get back. Just go in the gym and exercise. Simple as that. Just go. Stop being in your emotions. Women tend to listen things emotionally, and that's what hurts you. You hear things emotionally because you're insecure, and you need to get out of that mindset and understand that men do not say things emotionally. So when they're telling you something, they're just, well, then Raquel, then you understand what the problem is, why you've had that difficulty at 45 not being where you need to be in a relationship. Because if you are that frank, it means that you are highly masculine. So yes, you are more man than not. Exactly. So it means that you are actually in your masculine a lot. And it may have stemmed from maybe short woman complex or whatever it is, but you're highly masculine. So that in itself means that a man is not going to find you as a long-term person, because he can't see himself aligned with another him. Yes, you may have a different different organ, reproductive organ, and a different gender than he does. But when it comes to the interactive part, it means that you're not as soft and you're not gentle. And that's going to be a problem. Exactly, Tima. Go to the gym. Somebody telling you something, keep your mouth closed. Go and fix it. It's that simple. If you want people to see you as long term, you cannot be another man. It's a huge problem that happens in the between genders right now. It's huge. He's telling you something. Man, you're supposed to be saying hallelujah, amen, and just go and do it. The only person a black woman or colored woman listens to, it's a white man. And I'm going to do a video on that and show the facts based on actual data. And you all have seen it. A black man does not go with a white woman for the same reason. A lot of black men go with and marry a white woman when they level up, according to women. Not because, well, some of them actually do, but a small majority of men have the complex that I am now making it, and so I need to be with a white woman to be somebody. Those men are the men who have complex, but it's a small majority. It always is a small majority. More reasons than not, a white man, a black man marries a white woman for a couple of reasons. One, white women want black men because black men are stronger, black men are more alpha, and black men are said to have a bigger genital, right? So that's why the white women want them. And if you ask some white women, they actually are seeing how black women are treating black men. If I were to go to London right now and just land in the airport, I am telling you, I don't need to have $1 in my pocket. Just reach London and start up in the airport, and I'm telling you, between me getting on that flight, on that plane and reaching in the airport and walking outside, I can get a white woman to take care of me and keep me safe and proper and line me up. You don't trust me what I'm telling you. I have partners who did it, and they aren't me. So trust me. I know what I'm telling you guys, because they see the value. But black women only listen to white men. So a white woman a white woman never, in most cases, give a black man the kind of attitude that black women give him. They are more peaceful. You just look at the reality shows with black women, like what you call Love and Hip Hop, and then go and look at the reality shows with white women predominantly, like Housewives of Atlanta, and you see the difference in how they argue. Go and see if they ever really arguing. In fact, I've never seen a housewife of any one of those cities, they're abusing their husband and talking back to their husband. I've never seen that. They were always arguing with each other, and I've never really seen any of them in a fight. Maybe it has happened, but it's very rare. But when you go to Love and Hip Hop, look at how these women talk to the man. With obscene attitude, fight, throwing drink, kicking, coughing. Look at it. Now, a black woman does not give a white man that type of attitude. You can look on Love and Hip Hop again and see that when whoever was dating a white man, what happened? One of these rappers, it happened at least twice I saw. Look at how they were behaving. Never an argument. Let's look at Serena Williams, for example. Serena Williams have dated men. Come on, she has dated men. And all the black men that she dated, all of them, none of them was good enough. There was always a problem with one of the men. Are you trying to tell me the one white man she meet to date, he was worthy of being her husband and getting a child? Look at how she talks and behaves and acts around him. Look at that. And she's one of the most dominant females that you all know. Look at Oprah Winfrey. And she said, man, look at her. Look at her behavior. Look at this woman from this talk show. I'm really sorry if I have it in my mind and I can't remember the show with these four or five women. I think Whoopi Goldberg is one of them that's being the show. The Real, I think it is. Look at her with her man now. She's so boisterous and masculine and aggressive. Watch how you white man. Look at how she behaves. And you women know it. If you have ever dated a white man, you women know it. How you all reacted to that man. And listen, the thing is, what makes it even worse is that a white man, when when a woman is dating a white man, he does not have to be high value in the sense of having great wealth for her to submit and find him sexy and valuable and all of these things. She doesn't have to. The slave mentality never left. It's still there. I'm going to do a video on it and really bring out some facts, hard data to support for you to see. And that's how dangerous it is. Tell me what I said where I was wrong, where I'm not talking the truth. I use clear examples and showing the people on scenarios. Show me the opposite, no? Show me that men, and you see this thing about men have ill-treated women for over years and over time and stuff, and that is why black women join the feminist movement and stuff. It's a lie. It's a lie. Black women never had issues with black men like white women had with white men. That's why the feminist group started up. They just bring in black women inside of there to use as pawns, and black women jump in on it and run with it. But the reason, look at the behavior of black women who think like almost as if they started the feminist movement. It's not about black women. Black men aren't generally violent to black women, you know, guys. It might be something that it might be far-fetched. Black women do not generally, forget what you see on TV, generally treat black women bad, you know. Because black people, both genders, are one of the most friendly gender it has in society in the world. We are the more passive of any gender. And I'm talking about Indians and Negroes here. And I'm talking about black and colored. So we have to see the whole picture to understand the behavior pattern of women, why men are not seeking to marry black women anymore or see them as long term but just good for sex, and if they don't get sex they're moving on. Listen guys, more than 60% of women are going to remain unmarried and die alone. It's about 70% really. Only 40% of women are actually getting married or get married, you know. Only 40, you know. So it's more than 50% of women do not get married. Nobody marries them. Nobody's coming. And nobody's going to marry them. Men are not seeking them for long term because a black woman was... just, guys, I don't know how many of you have been in the gym recently. If you look between the two major ethnic groups now, I remember for years, black people Negroes would have laughed at Indian women. When you look at Indian women on the streets now, you look at them dressed now, you look at them in the gym now, the gyms are full with predominantly black women. I can't really tell between men because there are a lot of Negro men and Indian men in gyms, so you can't really tell. But you see when it comes to females who are in better shape, Indian women now have excelled and are in greater numbers in the gyms opposed to black women. And if you go to the US, you will see white women outnumber black women by a lot. Even in cities where predominantly black, like when you talk about New York, for example, which have a high concentration of blacks, you would still see white women outnumber them, taking better care of their bodies. So this concept that black women have, this mindset that black women have, that black men must cherish them and love them and whatever, I don't have a problem with that. But the point of the matter is, T-Mac, you in the gym or you was in the gym, am I lying with the numbers of both ethnic groups? Why should men choose women for long term if that is the behavior and that is the kind of attitude and that is what's happening? They just won't. And so women now have to make a decision or die alone. Go and buy a dog, buy 2 cats, and raise them, buy a parrot, and talk to that at the end of the day. But men will not. Men are reclaiming what they lost, and men are not just simply settling for the attitudes of women anymore. They're just simply not doing it. Alright? So I think I've said a lot, and I think you guys understand my point of view as to why it's happening on both sides. So like, share, comment, and subscribe. Do not forget to share. Do not forget to share. Let me know what you think about this video, and Friday we'll be on Facebook. We have another interesting topic, but let me know what you think about this video. Don't forget to share, like, share, comment, subscribe. All right, we talk later. Bye for now.